Hello everybody, and welcome into a special edition of the Orange and Blue Report presented by the UVA Health Systems. I'm Dave Kane, and we are happy to be joined by a very special guest here today as we have one of the finest that ever played the sport at the University of Virginia, women's soccer. We are happy to be joined by Becky Sauerbrunn, who is back on grounds here today for the big game tonight. And Becky, great to see you here with us here today, but let me start there. Does it ever get to feel like it's not strange being at a game at Klockner Stadium, watching from the stands where you played so many games through your career?
It's really hard to come back sometimes and watch because I had so much fun playing here while I was here, and so coming back is great to watch the program. It's great to watch Steve and to get to see the girls play, but it's tough sometimes because I have a lot of fond memories of playing on Klockner Field, and it's such a beautiful stadium. So it's wonderful to be back, but sometimes I just want to be out there on the field. Yeah,
and then you talked about coming back and seeing your old coach here, Steve Swanson, who's been doing this a long time now. You weren't the first group, but you were one of the first. You were part of his fourth season and kind of got the program rolling. First of all, how much has he changed in the time since you played for him?
He has not changed at all. He's just older. That's about it. But he, honestly, I mean, he is very strong in his ideals and the traditions of the program, and so he instilled that from the get-go. And even when I watched practice yesterday, they're still talking about the same things, you know, hard work, selflessness. So it's funny because I really don't think he's changed at all.
Yeah, those bedrocks oftentimes stay in place, and that's obviously the sign of a good program more often than not. But as you've watched this program grow in its time since you were here, what has that been like to see this team go from where you were, kind of moving things toward an ACC championship, those types of goals, now to goals for national championships and perennial top 10 teams?
It's great because I think Steve has always been has a strong idea of what the process should be, and he's always developing players. So when we first got here, he was starting that and he was developing players, and we just were a little bit off the cuff when it came to winning a ACC championship or winning a national championship. So it's so great to look at these teams that have been in the Final Four and have played in national championship games. So it's wonderful to see that his process has worked throughout the years.
You played in a couple different World Cups, and you've been a big part of the rise of U.S. women's soccer, I know. But what has it been like to see players like Morgan Bryan coming up now as a younger player on that national stage with you from your alma mater?
I mean, it's just a testament to the program. You've got like Morgan Bryan, then you have a lot of players that play professionally. I play professionally with Brittany Radcliffe, and just seeing how she plays, it's a lot like how Steve wanted all of us to play long ago. So it's just wonderful to see that these players have been developed and they're doing such a great job, and they're getting chances professionally and then also professionally then jumping up to the international stage. So it's great to see so many UVA players out there.
Speaking of the international stage, you not only were an Iron Man here at UVA playing all 90 games, starting all 90 games while you were here, which is an amazing feat in of its own right. But if I'm not mistaken, you played every game of the last World Cup. You really have been a part of bringing up the game of women's soccer in this country. I can only imagine what that must be like. How fulfilling is that from your perspective to have been a part of something that's been so magical as it has been?
I mean, I just feel extremely fortunate. I mean, I've had wonderful players to play with, and I've had wonderful coaches, so I think I've been very lucky in my career, and it's not very often that you are a part of a journey that's so rewarding, but then also to have that journey lead to the mountaintop, which is a World Cup championship or an Olympic gold medal. So I feel very fortunate that I've got to climb the mountain, but then I also get to see the view from the top as well.
Yeah, it's been remarkable. Now, the other part of this thing that's changed as well since you've been involved is the growth of the professional game of women's soccer. You talked about some of the UVA players that have become a part of that, but how much growth have you seen there, and where do you see it heading from here?
Yeah, well, we just finished our 5th season, which in itself is huge because all the other iterations of the Women's Professional League have unfortunately folded after the 3rd year. So the fact that we're entering into our 6th season, it's wonderful. And you know, the U.S. Soccer Federation, they're kind of operator and managers of the league, and so they put a lot into it. We have a national broadcast sponsor, which is wonderful. So you see the league slowly growing and becoming more sustainable and concrete, and then really now we're just, let's get the sponsors in, let's put more money into it, let's get the players paid the way that they should. And so there's still a lot of areas to grow, but overall I'd say it's really promising.
Obviously your alma mater playing tonight against Duke. How much are you able to follow this team as you do your other part of what you're doing as a player still to this day?
It's exciting, you know, them entering into the ACC tournament, and tonight's a big game to decide, do they get a home playoff berth, or are they going to have to travel? So it's exciting because Duke's, I think, number 2 right now, and so it's a big game for them, and I think it's a good test to see where they are right now.
A chance to watch your team play tonight at Klockner Stadium. How long has it been since you've been back?
It's been years. It's been tough with my schedule to find time to come out here to visit, but it's always so rewarding when I do. I do miss this place.
All right, well, join Becky at Klockner Stadium. You can be on the pitch tonight, 7 o'clock. It is UVA playing host to the Duke Blue Devils, a pair of ranked teams in a big matchup in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Becky, we appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thanks a bunch.